John Dwyer here, the Institute of Wow, with another show-off story, okay, about a successful case study. This one's got to do with Parramatta Leagues. Parramatta Leagues is a big casino-style club in Sydney with lots of poker machines, and the poker machine revenue, of course, is the thing that keeps the Parramatta Leagues football team on the field every week. And my role was to work with management to devise ideas to stimulate the playing of the poker machine. I'm showing my age, aren't I? They don't have those then. You press the button now, you don't have the handle there. So therefore, amongst other things, throughout the many years that I was there, one of the promotional ideas that I gave them was a $1 million draw. And you'll see on your screen right now the $1 million front page of the bulletin. I've got to show you actually before and after. I've just got to show you this. This is what their bulletin used to look like before I came along. Okay, this is the front cover of what their bulletin used to look like, that they'd send out to their 40,000 members pretty regularly. And then I said, oh, no, we cannot continue to do that. I don't think anyone's going to pull that out of the letterbox and go, oh, wow, I've got to get into that club. And so we changed it. And so this is what the front page of the bulletin looked like when I got involved, particularly with the $1 million draw. So how this worked was that we put together a letterbox brochure, and the letterbox brochure was actually a $1 million check. Okay, so it looked like a Commonwealth Bank or Wells Fargo classy check, and it had $1 million on it. And when you flipped it over on the other side, it was a DL-sized leaflet. It basically gave you an invitation to fill in your personal details and bring it into the club, and you would get a free entry, no questions asked, into the $1 million draw. And then for every $20 that you spent in the club, you got an additional entry. So you can imagine that if you had dinner at the club and you spent $100, you would get 5 entries into the $1 million draw. You can't link promotions to poker machines per se, so therefore you can't say, look, if you bring up certain sequences on the poker machine, you'll get more entries. There's a law against that, and so therefore legally you can't promote poker machines. But what you can do is to drive traffic into the club, hoping of course that they'll spill into the gaming room, and that's exactly what happened. The results were phenomenal. The increase in poker machines when we put this promotion on, I think was it's been some years ago now that this was run, but it was 30-something% within a fortnight. We're talking, that's big dollars, by the way. If you get a 30-something% increase in your poker machine revenue, particularly with a big club like that had 450 or 500 machines, that is a lot of money. And so therefore it was spectacularly successful. We made sure that no matter where you went in that club, you knew that this promotion was on. You'll see the front doors of the club here. When you walk through, the automatic door opened. It had $1 million all over it. We had $1 million stickers on the floor right throughout the club reminding you about it. Of course, it was on the front page and throughout the brochure, the bulletin that went out to members. There were tent cards on all of the tables. When you went to the bar, there was $1 million draw posters everywhere around you. You could not go anywhere in that club without knowing that you were given the opportunity to have a chance of winning the $1 million. Now, of course, how the $1 million draw works is that it's an insured prize promotion. So therefore, an insurance company provides the $1 million. Insurance premium for that, I think, was about $16,000 based on a 1 in 250 probability that the prize would go off. If it was a $500,000 prize, the insurance premium would be about $8,000. And if it was a $250,000 prize, the insurance company will give you that prize for about $4,000, I think it was. But anyway, how it works is that at the end of the promotion, and we ran that for around about 5 weeks, whoever had an entry in the promotion was invited to come back to the club for the final draw. And when they came back, they were in the auditorium. There were just multitudes of people there, and we would pull out a name, and that person had 4 minutes to identify themselves. And if they didn't, then we'd pull out another name and another name until such time someone identified themselves. That person then would come up onto the stage, and on the stage were 250 numbered footballs, because it's a rugby league football club, okay? And that person had the opportunity to choose one of those 250 numbers or numbered footballs up on the stage area, and if they chose the one with the $1 million inside, then there was a insurance scrutineer there who would just simply give the check out for $1 million. And if they chose one of the 249 other footballs, then they won a consolation prize. And I think that was a motor car in this instance, okay? But it can be $10,000, it can be a holiday to Fiji that you could do for $3,000 or $4,000. It's entirely up to you. Don't give away a pencil case. It's got to be a decent prize in terms of a consolation prize. If you give away pencil cases, every chance in the world that that person will stab you through the eye with a pencil, okay? So if they don't win the $1 million, make sure they get something decent. Now, it's a year's worth of groceries from a supermarket chain, or it might be a trip to the Gold Coast, or it might be a trip to Fiji, or something like that, okay? Very successful promotion, and the great thing about Insured Prize Promotions like that, whether it be $100,000 or $250,000 or $500,000 or $1 million, is that you get to exploit the Elvis found type headline, but only pay a very minimal amount of money. And let's face it, if you look at the TV programs these days, what is it, Deal or No Deal, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, they're all based around big cash prize giveaways, because the TV networks know how to attract the attention of viewers. So it might be something you might like to consider for your business.